Let's begin. We are on page Zayin Amud Aleph, 7a2. And now we're going to discuss the Mishnah. Now, just important to understand, we're going to give a couple of background tips to understanding the Mitzorah. Okay? What is this whole concept of Mitzorah? Mitzorah is a person gets this disease and affliction. Okay? And what does this affliction look like? It's a spot on the arm where it's white. It needs to look deeper than the skin itself. Mar'ea amok min ha'or, like the pasuk says. There's other kinds of tzarat where a person could have in the beard, on the head, on a burn. Each one it's a straight out pisukim in the Torah. Okay, all this is straight pisukim. However, okay, what happens is the person, when they get something they think is a nega tzarat, they go to the kohen and the kohen decides what it is. Now, sometimes the kohen could say tzarat tameh. Sometimes the kohen could say that, so that's a confirmed mitzorah. Then you have a situation where the kohen says, listen, not sure, you have some of the conditions, not all of them, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to confine you. So we're going to lock you up, v'izgiro kohen shivat yamim. 7 days we're going to keep you locked up, so you're tameh already. Because you're enough by being confined, you're already tameh, but you're not confirmed level of tzarat, okay? So you could confirm tzarat immediately.
That's maybe status?
Maybe status, but it carries with it tumah, okay? Automatic, because you have...
Tzarat, how long is that?
So each one has its own level. I don't want to get into all the details, but at least we should understand the basic principles. Okay. So if there's an element that you have some of the conditions but not all of them, so then you could find the guy. If the 1 week the kohen comes again and he says, okay, let me look. Did it shrink? If it went away, okay, we could say tahor. If it stayed the same, we could confine you for another week, a second week. Okay, and if it grew, then we could confirm you as a mitzorah. Okay, once a person is confirmed as a mitzorah, then there's the amount of time that he stays in confirmed mitzorah status. Okay, so that's the highest level of tumah with all of the stringencies, and that's confirmed level of tzarat. Okay, what happens after confirmed level of tzarat? Right? Now I say the guy is tahor. What happens? He goes through a period of time where he needs to count towards tahora. In that period of counting, he has to separate from his wife. Okay? So just want you to remember that. That's the basic understanding. Not everyone's going to agree to all parts of that statement, but this is the basic understanding of how this works. At that point, he's counting. He's forbidden to have relations. And at that point, he can then, at the end of the confirmed session, he brings a korban. He does what he needs to do. They do the whole item with the bird and with the blood, and then he comes back into the camp. So that's the basic idea of how we run a tzarat.
Do you have a second phone running?
Oh, we don't have Zoom. Thank you. Hazak Baruch. Okay. So, now that they missed that whole intro.
We didn't start the Mishnah.
Yeah, but you can't understand the Mishnah without the intro.
Oh, all right.
But unfortunately, they're gonna have to try.
That's okay. I'll take the second time, just for good measure.
Let me know when you're on the Zoom.
Why are they using these words, ro'in and nega'in lehakel, instead of tzaraat and kohen?
We'll see in a minute. Okay. So we did not realize that the Zoom was not here. Mechila, yeah. All we did so far was give an intro. I'm going to skim over the intro very, very quickly in another 30 seconds, okay? The process of mitzorah works like this. A guy notices he has something on his arm. He goes to the kohen. It's white. There's certain conditions. It has to be deeper than the skin. It has to have a hair growing in the middle, let's say. It has to have fresh skin growing in the middle. So all different types of tzarat. The guy goes to the kohen. If the kohen says he's tameh, he's tameh. That's confirmed mitzorah. If the kohen is not saying he's confirmed mitzorah, then he locks him up for 7 days. He's a confined mitzorah. After 7 days, he sees him again and he says, either it's tahor, then he goes home, then he's, because he was never confirmed, or he confines him for another week, or he confirms him as a mitzorah, in which case he needs to now count however many days of confirmed mitzorah. After that period is done, he brings his korban and he comes back into society. But all throughout that period, until he's tahor, he's confirmed mitzorah and counting down to his days of tahara, okay? Until that point, he's allowed to be with his wife. Once already he's in the process of tahara. At the end of his confirmed tumah status, that point he's forbidden to his wife. Now, with that introduction, we're going to begin. It says the Mishnah on Daf Zayin Amud Aleph 782. Rabbi Meir Omer. Rabbi Meir says, "Ro'in ta negaim le'akel." A kohen is allowed to see negaim. Now, why are we expecting you to know what we're talking about? Because then Chazal, when they said negaim, they knew exactly what they meant. Because a nega is the word that the Torah uses for tzarat. Okay? So all the time it keeps saying, Vera'ah hakohen et hanega. So this exact statement, Ro'in et hanegaim, if you're a person who knew Torah, you would know, Vera'ah kohen et hanega. So who's Ra'ah? The kohen. What is he seeing, the nega? The nega tzarat. Okay? So they're relying on you knowing this language from the pasuk. Ro'in et negaim le'akel. You're able to look at a nega on Chol HaMoed in order to make the situation less strict. Okay? To be mekil, to be lenient. Avalo le'achmir, not to make the situation worse, to be more stringent. Why? Since Chol HaMoed is a time of happiness, it's not meant to be a time of sadness or distress or excess work or etc. So therefore, the Kohen should not be looking at a nega to be machmir. Now, what's evident already in Rabbi Meir is going to be what the second rabbi argues with them on. Let's continue, and then we'll understand what is evident in Rabbi Meir. The Chachamim say, what do you mean? Lo la'akel v'lo la'achmir. You can't look at a nega not to be strict or not to be lenient. Why? Because the minute you look at a nega, what are you going to do if it's strict?
You can't ignore it.
You can't ignore it. So if you saw, how's he going to know before he knows what he's looking at, what he's going to render a ruling on? So therefore, the Chachamim say, right? Don't look at anything at all. So what does that mean? Let's just understand first the Chachamim. Let's say a guy is a nega tzarat and it's Chol HaMoed. What does he do? Nothing. Ignore it. Why? Wait till after the Moed. Why wait till after the Moed? Since if he goes to the Kohen might have to render a negative ruling, and he'll only know that once he looks at it. Therefore, don't let him look at it. Simples.
Yeah,
Okay?
There's no way to look at it without there being a possibility of it being strict.
Exactly.
There's no contagion
No.
here?
No.
Okay.
Okay, spiritual malady.
But he could
So-
be tameh. He could be tameh without the decision.
Oh, so that's the obvious point that you have to ask, okay? Now, what do you mean? You're either tameh or you're not tameh. The answer is, that's not true.
No, the
So
Kohen
if you
has to
don't
render-
call
And we're going to prove that later on in the Gemara. If the Kohen does not say,
you don't call
that's tzarat,
You're not
tameh, you're not tameh. So therefore, what can we do to avoid this?
Ignore
Not
it.
see it.
Ignore it.
Okay? Now, let's go back to Rabbi Meir. What, was Rabbi Meir dumb? He didn't get this idea? Obviously, he also knew that if you look at it, and now it's going to be tameh, now you're going to be stuck. Right? Why? Because it's tameh. Obviously, Rabbi Meir held that he could look at it and not say tameh. So he looks at it. If it's tahor, what does he say? Tahor. He renders a ruling, lehakel. If it's tameh, what does he say? Nothing.
Bottom line is you can't render somebody with tzara on the holiday. That's what he's saying.
Correct. The machloket is, can a kohen see something and not say something?
Right. Do they have the power?
That's
to do
the
that?
sign, right? Rabbi Meir believed that you could see and not say. So therefore, if what I'm going to say is kosher, it ups your situation. It's an improvement. I'll say it on the holiday, on Chol HaMoed. If it's a negative situation, I'll just keep my mouth shut, and I'll render my decision after the holiday's over. Chachamim say no. Once a kohen sees something, he has to say something. What does that lock the Chachamim into? A situation where the kohen will not look at it.
See you.
Yeah, I have a question on this. What's my question? Take it to a guy who's not a kohen. If it's a good item, let him tell the kohen to look at it. If it's a bad item, he can't render it tameh anyway.
A prejudgment, sort of like a.
No, it's not judgment. I'm a big Torah scholar. I'm not a kohen. I look at the nigga. I know what the halakha is. I'll tell the guy, go show it to the, or I tell the guy, don't show it to the guy. Right? So I don't know why this was not raised immediately as an alternate option. All right? However, leaving that on the side, the Gemara is now going to go through all of this that we talked about and pull it apart in different ways, and as well prove parts of what I just told you as fact, the Gemara is going to express it, and that's where we're going to learn it from. So I only know it because I learned the Gemara, right? And I learned it elsewhere where we were relying on this Gemara. But the Gemara over here is going to have to prove each of those steps. Says the Gemara, Tanya, we learned in the Braita. Rabbi Meir Omer, Rabbi Meir says, you're allowed to see it to go lenient. Rabbi Yossi says, so in the Mishnah, what do we call the other opinion? Chachamim. Over here we're learning, who's the opinion of the Chachamim? Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Yossi says, lo la'akel, v'lo la'achmir. You can't look at it to go lenient or la'achmir. She'imata niskak lo la'akel. Once I looked at it, la'akel, niskak lo af la'achmir. I now have to render my ruling to the stringent side. Rebbe says, right? How does Rebbe hold? Amar Rebbe, nir'in divrei Rebbe Meir b'musgar. I hold like Rebbe Meir when it comes to someone who is confined, musgar. V'divrei Rebbe Yoseh, and I understand the words of Rebbe Yoseh b'muchlat, in someone that is confirmed. Okay, now remember, what's the baseline of this Mishnah? Forget all the opinions.
When you say baseline, what do you mean?
What's the baseline idea that this Mishnah is coming to address?
Who can expect what? Who on Chol Hamoed?
Much more baseline than that.
Who has sarat?
No, much more baseline.
Are you able to say no when someone has?
Much more baseline.
If you see something, do you have to say something?
Much more baseline.
If he has a tzad, can he bring a korban?
Much more baseline. You guys are missing the whole point. The Mishnah is telling you, don't ruin Chol HaMoed.
Okay.
You see?
Yeah.
That's the baseline is, if you're going to make Chol HaMoed a difficult day, horrible day, because now the guy finds out he's 10 minutes out, you can't do it. Now there's a disagreement about how we look at this scenario. What's considered ruining the holiday? Okay? Now, this Gemara is incredibly technical. And,
So very subjective.
and we're not going to get into the deepest technical elements of the Gemara, because I don't necessarily believe this is our sugya for now, unless we're learning the sugyot of Nigaim, okay? And we're not learning that. But what we're going to learn is, at least on the base level, once we know that that's the baseline of the Mishnah, everything we're going to do is going to be checked against that idea. So Rabbi Meir says, you know what? Let me look at it. Let me make his holiday instead of breaking it. Rabbi Yosef says, one second, the minute you see it, you might break his holiday because you're going to have to say something. So therefore, don't even look at it for the good.
Does he have to go away if he has it?
Sorry?
If he's confirmed Metzorah,
Yes.
does he have to be?
Yes. Confined, confirmed, both of them has to go away. Confirmed, he has to go further away. Confined, he could be like in the area, in the zone, in the city, just not with other people. When he's confirmed, he needs to be out of the camp.
Didn't we
Okay?
learn this in Makot?
A small slice
Little,
of it.
yeah, we did.
Yeah. Okay?
Rabbi, why do you have to dance around it? Why can't I say, do not check someone on Chol HaMoed? And that's it.
Because
Don't check him.
because Rabbi Meir is saying, what do you mean?
Oh, so there is a conflict.
I could improve his situation
By giving you full
by saying you're tahor
when you may not be.
when you're in a state of either confined or confirmed, right? So Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yossi don't get involved in if the guy's confirmed, if he's confined. Blanket rule. Rabbi Meir says, just always look, and then just decide if it's good, give him good news. If not, tell him we need to have a chat after the holidays. That's Rabbi Meir. Rabbi Yossi holds that a Kohen is not entitled
To hold back?
to withhold his psak halacha. Let me give you one.
That's Rabbi Yossi.
I'm going to give you one adjacent idea
That's Rabbi Yossi?
to Rabbi Yossi, yes, and the Chachamim, who's the same person. Okay, I'm going to give you one adjacent idea. It has nothing to do with it, but you'll see the concept. Okay, there's a big question. They ask Yosef Sadiq. Okay, was the guy Majnun? Has Shalom. Was he out of his mind? You know the brothers are jealous of you. You have a dream where you're in charge and they're all bowing down to you. You know what you should do with that dream?
Have to say the name.
Don't say anything.
Have to say the name.
Why is Yosef Sadiq telling the brothers about his dream? The answer is,
You have to say the nevuah.
Yosef Sadiq held the dream was not a dream, it was a prophecy. And the halacha is, a Navi is not allowed to be kovesh nevuato. Forbidden, according to one opinion, chayav mita for kovesh nevuato. Okay, again, we're not going to get into the details. But a Navi is not allowed to not say his Nivuah. Since that's the case, according to one opinion, again, that's what's going on with Yonah.
I was just thinking that.
Yonah runs away from telling his Nivuah. What happens? They throw him in the ocean. What's the halacha about a Navi that's not saying his Nivuah?
He dies.
Dies.
Then he says,
So his onish comes from that. Okay? Now, why God saves him? It's a tremendous amount of rahamim from HaKadosh Baruch Hu that he does that and he keeps him alive and then me'ah, daga, etc., etc. But I just want to express that point. You know why Yosef said something? Because in a scenario where you have a nivuah, you have to say something.
But did he know it was a
You
nevuah?
don't have an option to not say. Who?
Did Yosef know it was a nevuah?
That's the whole machloket between Yosef and the brothers. The brothers say it's not a nivuah, it's the dreams of a guy who wants power. You're a megalomaniac
it's your ego manifesting itself in your dreams.
in your subconscious. So they hate him for the fact, that's what the Chachamim say. They hate him al chalomotav for his dreams, al devarav and on his words. Same thing, his words and his dreams, same thing. They hate him because he had a subconscious dream? No. They hate him because he said something. But this, according to this, is very deep. What they hated was al devarav. The fact that you said it means that you think.
You believe it.
It's not, you believe it. You believe it's a nivu'ah. They hated that he said something, because that meant, right?
Yeah.
That meant that's the nekudah. Sorry, mechila. Okay, I'm not sure. There might be someone at the door who's trying to get in. Ask security if they can let him in. Okay, so this is the same thing. Rabbi Yossi holds you can't say something. Now, a great way to remember this, you said about the fact that you can't, what's it called? It's hard for you to remember all the things you learned. When you remember that Yosef was not allowed to not say, you'll remember that Rabbi Yossi is the opinion that says you're not allowed to not say. That's an example of the memory tricks that you use to remember these things. Okay? Now, says the Gemara. What? That was ace. That was ace. Okay. Says the Gemara. Okay? So Rabbi Yehuda says, hold on. I see Rabbi Meir, I see Rabbi Yossi. I agree with Rabbi Meir in one case. And I agree with Rabbi Yossi in another case. Rabbi Meir seems to me to be very logical, bimusgar, when the Kohen is confined. Okay? But he's not confirmed. I like Rabbi Meir's opinion. But I like Rabbi Yossi's opinion when the guy is confirmed mitzorah. Okay? So don't look at him when he's confirmed. Look at him when he's confined, but not confirmed. Now, I'm not going to go into the reasoning here, even though that sounds crazy, because in a second, we're going to have another opinion that says this opinion of Rabbi Yehuda in the exact opposite way. And there the Gemara is going to say the logic for each reason. So we're just going to hold off of it until we get there. But we have a Braita that says that Rabbi Yehuda, he said that I agree with Rabbi Meir in a confined mitzorah, and I agree with Rabbi Yossi in a confirmed mitzorah. What's the difference, confined and confirmed? Exactly what it sounds like. Remember when you had COVID? When you weren't sure what the thing was, you were confined. But then they found out, they tested you 3 days later. What'd you have? Confirmed. That's how you remember. Confined, confirmed. Okay? Says the Gemara, Amar Rava. Rava says, see what I'm giving you, the little items. This is very confusing. And if you lock it in on COVID and on Yosef, that's how you remember it. Amar Rava. Rava says, Bitahor, one second. If we're talking about a guy who's fresh, guy is tahor, no one ever said the word tzara to him, he's coming off the street, this is his first brush with the law. Bitahor, kule ama lo pligid lo chazule. All the opinions hold, including Rabbi Meir, kule ama, that you don't look at the guy. You know why? Because he's coming off of a no rap sheet with regard to tzara situation. If the Kohen sees him, whatever the Kohen says, it's going to be bad. NG. It's going to make it worse. So you know what? Even if Meir holds, don't look at him. Because remember, what was your question? Why look at him? Let's just all decide not to look at him. Right. What was Rabbi Meir's answer? I could improve his situation. If I call him tahor, I'm improving his situation. But this guy, what is he now? Tahor. So even Rabbi Meir is going to tell you what possible benefit could there be for me to see him. Just close your eyes, don't say nothing. Even Rabbi Meir holds holiday, holiday, holiday. Okay. Behesger Rishon, when it comes to the first time he's confined, remember I told you,
7 days.
a guy could be locked up for how many days? 7 days. The Kohen comes, he looks at the nega. If he's unsure, what does he do? He locks him up another 7 days. What happens if the 2 times of locking him up, could he go a 3rd time? No, there's no triple jeopardy. So max you could be locked up, confined, not confirmed. Max you could be confined is 2 times of 7 days. So the first time of being confined is called Hesger Rishon, first confinement. Okay. Hesger Rishon, first confinement, Kule Ama Lo Pligi Dechazile. Everyone agrees that you do look at him, including Rabbi Yossi. All right? Including Rabbi Yossi. Where's the machloket? The machloket is behesger sheni, in the second confinement. Okay? Now, this is going to take a few times to wrap our heads around. Okay? Let's take a look at this. So, tahor side, we get it. Everyone agrees you're only making it worse. And you're definitely not improving the situation. So Rabbi Yossi for sure holds, leave him alone. Right? Because he holds that anyway. Rabbi Meir also agrees when he's just tahor. What if it's Hesger Rishon? So he's confined, but not confirmed. Says Rava, even Rabbi Yossi agrees that you should look at him. Really? Why? Pay attention. What are my options? Let's look at the real world results, possibilities. I'm a confined mitzorah. If you come and you tell me, okay, if you come and you tell me I'm tahor, win.
Right.
Okay? What happens if you come and you tell me I'm tameh?
You ruined the holiday.
Nothing changed.
I'm still
Why are
confined.
you still
I'm still confined.
Can't make it
So
work.
since the holiday is only 7 days, so if you confirmed me, what did you do to me?
Oh, you have to stay
Not
for 7
much.
days anyway until after.
I have to stay 7 days anyway. Because if you
ruined
didn't,
my holiday anyway.
but if you didn't come check me, what would have happened?
Then you
I would have just had to stay because of a no judgment.
Right.
So you coming could either, in the best case scenario, say tahor. Worst case scenario, right? Say so it's nothing.
Make it work.
Worst case scenario, keep me here. But anyway, I was going to be kept here. So even Rabbi Yossi would agree
You should check him.
you should check him on Hesger Rishon. What's the question on Hesger Sheni? Okay? Mar Savar, Rabbi Meir holds, Bekohen Talia Milta. This is up to the Kohen. Okay? Itahor, if he says tahor, tahor, Amad tahor. V'itame, shatik. Rabbi Meir holds, it's up to the Kohen to say what he wants to say. So if he says tahor, tahor. If he's tameh, what does the guy do? Keeps his mouth shut. So it could only improve your situation. Umar Savar, Rabbi Yossi holds, litaharo or litameo ketiv. The pasuk says that the Kohen should see him, litaharo or litameo. There's only 2 doors. You could only leave through the tahor door or the tameh door. I don't have another option, a non-statement option. So therefore, since I could only say tahor or tameh, if on the 2nd week I say tameh, what's going to happen?
Goes away.
You're going to be locked in another week. But if you didn't see me, since he's already after 2 Hesger Shenis, right? If you didn't see me, what would happen? I would go free. Because you can't lock me in for longer. So you understand? So the tameh, after a double confinement, introduces something that's more strict than what would have happened if you didn't see me. But in the first one, it's not like that. So therefore, the whole machloket, says Rava, of Rabbi Meir and Rabbi Yossi is in a Hesger Sheni. What do we do after being locked up for the 2 times? Do you go see the guy or not see the guy? Rabbi Meir holds, see the guy. If it's a tameh verdict, I'll keep my mouth shut. Rabbi Yossi says, don't see the guy, because you don't have an option to keep your mouth shut. So if it's a tahor, great. But if it's a tameh, now you locked him in for the 3rd week as a confirmed mitzorah, in which case you ruin the holiday. Very clear?
Clear.
It's very complicated stuff, but so long as you go slow and everything's clear in every step, we won't have any
But
problems.
isn't the holiday over after the first 7 days? So the second
No.
period
It's before the
You're right. We're saying that the second lockup
Is the first
happened
week of the
before the holiday. Exactly.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Okay. Says the Gemara.
Rabbi, what's the idea if it's a tameh on the holiday, on the Chol HaMoed? Can he bring a korban?
Good question. We're not going to get into that, but the answer would be no. He can't leave. He can't leave his state of tumah.
Okay, so if he becomes a tahor on the first day of the holiday, that's as ger sheni or as ger rishon, and you see him and he's a tahor. Why? It's a good chance for him now to get out and bring a korban, no?
No, because we're talking over here not the holiday. We're talking about Chol HaMoed. He's already missed it.
On Chol HaMoed. Oh, on
He already missed the first day of the holiday. We didn't discuss what the halachot would be of the korban on the first day. It's not our sugya. We're only talking about Chol HaMoed here. Okay? All right. Now the Gemara continues. And the Gemara says, 1 second. You just told me at the end of the Braita that Rebbe says, I like the opinion of Rebbe Meir when he's confined, and I like the opinion of Rebbe Yossi when he's confirmed. Okay? But, Amar Mar, Nir'in divrei Rebbe Yossi b'muchlat. I like the opinion of Rebbe Yossi when it's confirmed. And the words of Rebbe Meir when it's confined. V'hatanya ipcha. But I learned another Braita that said Rebbe said exactly the opposite, that he liked Rebbe Meir in confirmed, and he liked Rebbe Yossi in confined. So how do you understand that? Answers the Gemara. Tanaihi aliba di Rebbe Meir. There's a machloket Tanaim according to Rebbe. So in other words, two different Tanaim heard or remembered two different things from Rebbe Yehuda. So for all intents and purposes, we basically have a machloket, two different Tanaim. One Tana says that he likes the opinion of Rabbi. So they're really ruling. You understand what's going on here? Rabbi Meir and the Chachamim, Rabbi Yossi have an argument. Okay? Check, don't check. Right? Check, don't check. Right? That's the answer. Right? Comes Rabbi, this second part of the Braita, which is Rebbe, and Rebbe says, you know what the ruling is? The ruling is, okay, Rabbi Meir on confined, Rabbi Yossi on confirmed. The other one says, other Tana says, Rabbi Meir on confirmed, Rabbi Yossi on confined. So we basically have, so forget the Rebbe part really, because it's two different Tanaim arguing on what Rebbe said, which is really arguing in what we hold lahalacha. Good, so far so good? Okay. The Gemara says, Tanaihi, it's a machloket Tanaim, aliba de Rebbe, according to Rebbe. Mar savar, tzafta de alma adifle. One guy feels that what would the Mitzorah like? What would he prefer? He wants to be with the people, with his posse, with his homies. Even if it means that he can't be with his wife. Umar savar, tzafta de ishto tzafta adifle. And one opinion holds, what does a person like more? He likes to be able to be with his wife more than he wants to be with the people. Now remember, what's the baseline of the Mishnah?
You can't be with your wife.
What's the baseline of the Mishnah?
We don't want to bother anyone in Chol HaMoed.
Don't ruin the holiday.
Don't ruin the holiday, right?
Ask the Gemara, what's ruining the holiday?
Can't
Being with your wife or being with your
Can't be
posse?
with his...
The voice.
It's the boys. One opinion says the boys. One opinion says the wife. So these two Tanaim are arguing in what the opinion of Rebbe was. The first opinion, okay, the first one we're going to go is the latter Braita. So the Tanya Ipcha, which means that Rebbe Meir, we follow Rebbe Meir when it comes to confirmed, and Rebbe Yossi when it comes to confined. Why? Let me just explain. When you come to confirmed, okay, and you're going to rule on the person that he could be tahor. So when you say that someone's tahor, what happens? He gets to rejoin the camp. So if he's confirmed, he gets to rejoin the camp when he's tahor.
Not his wife.
But during the days that he's counting, day 1 of tahor, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 7,
Still can't be with his wife.
He can't be with, no, not still. He can't be with his wife when he's counting tahor.
Right, when he's out.
So if he's confirmed, he's separated from the boys. If he's tahor, he's separated from the wife.
Whoa, 1 second. 1 second. If you're confirmed, you can be with your wife?
Yes.
Really?
The Gemara is going to bring that as a point. There's going to be a
crazy.
there's going to be a disagreeing
Say
point.
that just now we said if he's no. What we said was he's not confirmed yet, right? He's set apart for 7 days.
I'll tell you what I
Go
said.
ahead and said, you're good, you're tahor. You have to wait 7 days to be with your wife.
No.
Not confirmed.
Yes.
No.
It's heard.
Hold on. From the beginning of the tzarat until the end of the tzarat, he can be with his wife. The only time he can't be with his wife is when he's tahor and he's counting down the days to his korban.
How does that make sense? How does
Excellent
that make
question.
sense?
He could be with his wife.
Excellent
when
question.
he's-
14 days.
Double park, because we're coming right back to it, and you won't get a ticket. Okay, double park that. How could that make sense?
Wait.
The whole time tzarat may be confined, confirmed, kosher with the wife. The problem of intimacy with his wife is only once the Kohen says you're tahor, start counting. In the counting period, he's not allowed to be with his wife. So far, so good. Understanding? Yes. Okay. So
Wait, one quick clarification. Maybe Sarat, confinement for 7 days, can't be with anyone, not with the boys, not with the wife. Then confirmed,
still with the wife.
you can be with the wife, you
Can't be with the boys.
can't be with the boys.
Right. Okay?
Okay.
So confined is you're like under house arrest. Confirmed, they put you away outside the camp. Tahor, you come back in the camp, you're counting down.
But does that tell you how it views which is worse for the holiday?
No,
That
I just
system.
stated the facts.
No, but that's
That's the facts.
Right, but that system, right?
Yeah.
If you're confirmed, right, you can't be with the boys. But
Yeah.
You can't be with your wife.
Yeah.
By saying that, does that mean that being with the boys is at a higher level than being with your wife?
No. And what you're saying is the opposite side of the coin of his question. How could that be? Isn't that counterintuitive?
Yeah.
So you guys are saying the same thing, just from different perspectives. Okay, we're going to come back to this in just a second. Okay, but so far that's the halakha that we know. Okay, now the Gemara says, "Well, let's look at that back again." Mar Savar, the first opinion says in Rebbe, Tzavta de Alma Adifle. The guy wants to be with his boys. So what happens now? He says that opinion holds that he holds like Rebbe Meir with regards to confirmed. And he holds like Rabbi Yossi with regards to confined. Why? Because when the guy's confirmed, and Rabbi Meir says, let him come in and say tahor, if he says tahor, what's going to happen? He'll be able to come back to the boys.
Right.
So this opinion says, I hold like Rabbi Meir when he's confirmed. When he's confined, what are we worried about? That he's going to confirm him. If he confirms him, says Rabbi Yossi,
He's not with the boys.
he's not with the boys. So therefore, when it's state of confirmed, don't look at him. When it's confined, look at him.
Because you could say he's
Sorry, when it's confirmed, the latter opinion is Safta de Alma Adifle. So when it's confirmed and you could go to Tahor, don't look at him. Okay, that's Rabbi Yossi, right? Masavar.
Once you're confirmed, it's 7 days
I thought
also,
you said
or
Rabbi
14
Yossi
days?
said he could see him after he's confirmed. He's got nothing to lose.
If he's confined and he's the
So 1 second. If he's a confirmed Metzorah, right?
Yeah.
So where is he now? He's not with the boys.
No, he
So
could be with his wife.
it could only get better.
Right. That's Rabbi Yossi. You could check him.
Right? It can only get better. Why? Because I'm not with the boys.
Right.
And therefore Rabbi Meir says check him. If he says tahor, right? What happens? He's not with his wife, but he gets to be with the boys. If he's tameh, anyway, he was outside the camp. So anyway, you didn't make him further from his boys. You didn't take him away from his boys. But if he's confined, when he's with the boys, there might be a chance that you'll say tameh, in which case he'll be without the boys. So therefore, in the first opinion says, confined,
Not confirmed.
confined, don't look. Confirmed, look.
Confined, look.
Don't look.
Don't look. Confirmed, Look.
Look.
It could only get better.
Only get better because we're deciding
Nothing to
better.
lose.
Better or worse is decided by being with the boys. Confirmed, I was already not with the boys. It can only get better. Confined, I was with the boys. It can only get worse.
How many days once you're confirmed are you tameh?
Don't derail.
No?
Wait. I want you to be in the track, okay? Now, the other opinion says, you'll ask your question 1 second. Other opinion says, 1 second, you know how we decide better or worse? I want to be with my wife. He wants to be able to be intimate with his wife. That's number one priority. Okay, so remember, at what point is he going to lose the ability to have intimacy with his wife?
Only when he's in probation.
Only when he's going to be called tahor.
He's tahor when he's
Okay?
out.
Only when he's tahor. Okay. So says the Gemara, right? What does that mean? According to that opinion, Umar Savar, Tzafta di ishto adifle. He wants to be with his wife. So according to that Braita, right? You could examine, what did the Kohen do? He could look at a confined mitzorah. Right? Why? Why is confined
It only
mitzorah?
get better. Because he could be with his wife if he's confirmed.
Because if he's
or he gets out.
Sorry?
He either gets out or he could be with his wife. If he looks at him once he's already in confinement.
1 second. You're missing one bit.
What's the question?
If he's confined,
He could be with the wife.
you could look at him. Why? What happens? Let's say he says tahor, then he's going to not be with his wife.
Right.
Here's the one bit of information you don't have. If I go to tahor from confined, I was never declared for mitzorah.
So you're kosher.
Kosher straight away. So if I'm confined, wait, no, we didn't have this information yet.
I said either you're going to get let out and you're completely free.
Yeah.
Or, right, which means you're tahor.
To your wife
And the public.
and the public. We're not talking about the public now.
But you're completely tahor.
So 1 minute. So confined to tahor, no problem. Everything's coming up daisies.
Confirm, you just one being with your wife.
Confirmed, I stay with my wife. It's worse in terms of Tumah and my boys, but this opinion holds that better is decided only by the
But
wife.
it's not worse than you when you're in confinement, you're not with the boys anyway.
We're talking about the wife.
No, you are. You're still in the area. You're still in the city.
Oh, okay, so that's a
Confirmed, I said that before. Confined means like house arrest. I'm still here with everybody.
Ah.
Yeah, that was the whole cheshbon before. Confined, you're still with the boys. It's only confirmed that you're not with the boys.
Oh, I'm confused.
That's why we're always worried about the tameh. Okay?
Oh, so when you're confined, you can be with the public, just not with your wife. It's flipped.
When you're in, which one?
Confinement.
Confinement, yeah.
Be with the boys, but no wife.
No, not. It's not like I can hang out with them, but I'm here in the city. I still have my people around. There's still people here in confined. I can't leave the house, but I'm in the city. I'm with everybody. They could have, like COVID, they could put a table outside the window.
Social distance.
I'm not expelled from society.
Social distance.
Yes. Okay.
I got it.
So says the second opinion. Now therefore, in a case of confined, tahor, a tameh result would get me confirmed. I'm still with my wife. A tahor result would get me put me with my wife.
Because you were never.
Because I was never tameh. But if I'm confirmed, which means I'm with my wife, and you tell me tameh, I'm still with her. But if you tell me tahor, then I can't be with her. On the holiday, you ruined my holiday. You got it?
Whoa. If you're confirmed.
If you're confirmed.
If you're confirmed,
Yeah.
Unexonerated.
and if I'm confirmed and you tell me tameh, my status stays the same.
Could be with the wife.
Right.
If I'm confirmed and you say tahor, then I start counting to the korban from confirmed. Because I was already confirmed as a mitzorah. So now I have to count down to my korban. I can't be with my wife during those days. So if I'm a confirmed case, we don't look. You know why? Because you might say tahor. And if you say tahor, then on the holiday I can't be with my wife.
Oh, I got it.
Got it?
I got it.
So this was very technical. The fact that we got this, I can't tell you, tells me volumes about how much you guys, like a year ago, 6 months ago, we would never have got this Gemara.
Last week.
Okay. Okay. Wait, let's just finish this point.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, we're good. So you can take questions now.
Would you say that the best outcome is confirmed only, not confined? Confined, not confirmed.
The best outcome, is
How you do
is
Or not
tahor.
at all.
The best outcome is tahor at first glance.
You never made it to
Meaning
confinement.
never
of
being.
course.
of
I'm
course.
not even confined.
I think you were asking within the realm of
Within the
possibilities.
confinement.
Yeah.
From within the confinement, yes.
Should be confined, not confirmed, ever, would be the best outcome because you won't lose anything.
So in other words, if we just continue my confinement,
Only.
then I'm in the same
with
state.
no determination that you're confined.
Except one case.
What?
Since we're talking about the second confinement, right? And you can't confine me again, there is no option of another confinement.
You're out at the first.
There is no third confinement,
So even if you are, sorry.
But you're still.
right?
You're a maybe after that, you get off.
So if you didn't let the Kohen see me, I'd be free to go.
Right, but they're arguing here the whole disagreement is on the second probation period.
Correct.
Third.
Right. It's after the second probation.
Oh, it's not
That's the whole point.
the second meaning after the first.
Yes.
Oh, so it's really the third.
It's at the end of the second. So not seeing him is already a damaging thing. You know why? Because he needs to stay in his status quo. But staying in his status quo means that he's not out of the camp and he's not away from his wife. That's why that opinion says in a state of confinement, I'd rather. You get it?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Says the Gemara. Lememra, do you want to say the mukhlat mutar betashmish amita? What? You're telling me that a confirmed gay, he's allowed to be with his wife? How does that make sense? The Gemara says, yes. Kattan, we learned in a Braita. V'yashav mechutz la'olo shivat yamim. He stays outside. This is talking about when he's a confirmed mitzorah, not tahor. Okay? He stays outside of his tent 7 days.
Wait, how could you become confirmed Mitzvah and not Tahor?
So he's confirmed, and at this
In
point,
the waiting period.
no, at this point, after the confirmation, the Kohen comes and says, tahor. Now I'm counting, so I'm not done with it yet.
Confirmed,
But-
but you're clear.
You're confirmed, and you were given the all clear to count
You
down.
waited enough.
You're tahor now. Now you count down to your korban.
Okay.
Those 7 days that you're waiting, michutz la'aholo, you're outside of your tent. What does it mean outside your tent? She'asur b'tashmish amita. You're not allowed to be relations. Ve'en aholo ela ishto. How do we know that? Because the word aholo, your tent, doesn't mean that you need to be outside of your tent with your wife. The aholo, what we mean when we say outside your tent, means you're not with your wife. Shneemar lech emor lahem. Go tell the people. Shivu lachem la'olechem. This is in the aftermath of when the Jewish people were getting the Torah. There was a 3-day no intimacy rule. Why? Because after a person has relations, the zera, the seed, can come out of the person. It can remain in the woman for up to 3 days. When it emerges, when it comes out of the woman, that could be an element of impurity. Since God wanted them to be pure to receive the Torah, so they had a 3-day abstention period, okay, in order to ensure that they were pure to receive the Torah. Once they received the Torah, Moshe told them, go back le'aholechem to your tents. What was he telling them? You're allowed to resume relations with your wives. Okay? What word does he use to indicate resuming relations?
Alechem.
Aholechem. So you see that a tent means relations. Rabbi Yehuda says, Shiv'at yamim yisperulo. 7 days. Okay, now most opinions count out that pasuk, so we're not going to go with that. Rabbi Yehuda says, Yemeh sipuro v'lo yemeh chiluto. No, what are you talking about? The days of your counting, right? The days of your counting, velo yemei chiluto. What does it say? V'yashav mechutz la'olo, shiv'at yamim, 7 days. Rabbi Yehuda says, 1 second, I don't need to use this learning of what does a ohel mean, and ohel means this from Har Sinai, that's how I know, da-da-da. It says that you will be outside the ohel, shiv'at yamim, 7 days. Yemeh sipuro v'lo yemeh chiluto. Specifically during the time of your counting, is it asur, and not during the time of your confirmation as a mitzorah, is it asur. Okay? Rabbi Yehuda Omer, Rabbi Yehuda says, Shivat yimeh sipuro. 1 second. If you're telling me that when you're counting clean days, after your confirmation, now you're pure, you're counting clean days, you're telling me you can't be with your wife. Kal vachomer lemechiluto. If quasi tahor, you can't be with your wife, how much more so when you're completely tameh, you can't be with your wife? Yeah? Which is your question, which is your quasi question statement. Rabbi Chia says, Danti lifnei Rebbe. I sat in front of Rebbe, and I said to Rebbe, my rabbi, Limaditanu Rabbeinu, you taught us, our rabbi, you taught us, Yotam lo haya lo Uziyahu eli b'mechiluto. Yotam, who was a king, the son of Uziyahu. When was he conceived? He was conceived b'mechiluto, when his father Uziyahu was in his confirmation status as a Mitzorah. So since we learned that, obviously, it must be mutar for a person to be with his wife during the time of confirmed Mitzorah. Amar lo, Rebbe said to Reb Chia, Af ani kach amarti. I also hold exactly like you, that during the days of confirmed Mitzorah, you're allowed to be with your wife. It's only in the aftermath, after confirmation is over, when we're counting down to Tahorah, that's when it's forbidden to be with him.
That's very confusing.
Yeah?
Because, no, not the technical part of it. It's confusing why it would be the case. It's you're
The logic is confusing.
You're more tameh when you're confirmed and not waited out.
Says the Gemara, B'maika miflagi. What is the source of their argument? Where Rabbi Yossi seems to be saying something so logical, and Rabbi Chia is saying, well, didn't you teach us this? So that obviously means that that's the case. Rabbi Yehuda is like, yes, that is the case, and that is what I hold, but they're not offering a logical answer back. He's saying, Kal v'chomer. He's saying, I learned it from the Pasuk. He's saying, well, didn't you tell us that that's what happened with Uziyahu? But they didn't offer a reason why their logic was flawed. What are they arguing about? Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda Savar. Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda holds, Gali Rachmana b'yemei sipuro. The Torah told you that he's tameh in the days of the counting. V'kol sheken b'yemei chiluto. And obviously, yemei chiluto is a kol sheken. It's illogical. Umar Savar, but Rabbi Yehuda hold, Mai de gali. What the Torah told you is asur, the Torah told you is asur. Umar de lo gali. Whatever the Torah did not tell you is asur, is not asur. You can't go around saying, kol sheken, kal vachomer by yourself.
Right.
Whatever the Torah says asur is asur. If the Torah didn't say it, it's not asur. Clear?
Yeah.
You got that or no?
I missed that out.
Okay, one more time. The Gemara is answering very, very simple, right? Very simple, that when you say, when the Torah says it's asur, then it's asur. You can't say, I'm going to use my logic to make something asur. Rabbi Yossi Rabbi Yehuda says, what do you mean?
Proof.
This is a regular kol sheken. Rebbe is arguing that you can't make up your own kol shekens. Okay? Now, let's just take a look for 1 second in Rashi. Rashi says, V'Rebbe Savar, Ma de gali, 4 lines down. Sorry, it's not here. Is it? Oh, here we go. Tosafot. Sorry, not Rashi. That's what I wanted to show you. You see Tosafot? Mai de lo gali. See it?
Okay.
Yesh makshim. There are those that ask, Lama en Rebbe doresh kal vachomer. Ha'adam dan kal vachomer be'atzmo. Don't we learn a kal vachomer by yourself? Isn't that one of the ways she'atorah nidreshet bahem, that you don't need to have a kabbalah for? V'shema yesh sham pircha, or shema mitzorah chidushu. Tosafot answers, because maybe Rebbe had some version of being able to knock out the kal vachomer or the kol sheken. That's Tosafot's first answer. Okay, so like I'll give you an example. Maybe the reason, this is so clear. You're thinking that the reason why he can't be with his wife is because he's tameh. Right? That's what you're thinking. So therefore, quasi tameh is obviously better than full tameh. So if quasi tameh mutar, for sure, right? If quasi tameh asur, for sure full tameh asur.
This thing has nothing to do with tameh.
But maybe, who told you? Maybe the reason why he can't be with his wife is not because he's quasi tameh, but it's because we want you in a state of quasi of tahara.
Teshuvah.
Of tahara. You're in the process of becoming tahor. I don't want you messing with something that could bring some other form of tumah, the tumah of zera. So maybe it's not because of the tumah. You're basing it on that, maybe not. The second thing is, maybe this is some form of a chidush that you can't stretch the chidush here. Inami zayin yamim mashma miut la'afu k'yemei chiruto. V'idach t'mit tzorch legufei mihiu, midechtiv be lo shma mina le'ma'ute. He holds that he saw something in the pasuk and that's why he learned it. So the bottom line of this is that we've got one opinion that learns a kal v'chomer, one opinion that does not. We're going to continue from here next with the next session. It's going to be a continuation on this. But Baruch Hashem, I think we've got clearance to run because it's not learning back on the minutia of what we've seen. Baruch Hanei Le'olam, Amen ve'Amen.
I'm heading to Poland and Israel.
What's in Poland and Israel?